All right, let's just get right to it. It's the question that's been on all of our minds, right? That little bit of anxiety that creeps in no matter what you do for a living. Will a machine make my career obsolete? For years, it was all just talk and predictions. But now the data is finally starting to roll in.
So, in this explainer, we're going to cut through all that noise. And we're going to do it by looking at some incredible data, specifically from a global study that analyzed nearly 1 billion job ads. And what the findings show, well, it doesn't just push back against the panic, it points to a totally different and honestly a much more exciting future of work.
Okay, so let's tackle that panic head on. The big fear is pretty straightforward. AI shows up, humans are out. But the reality, at least according to the data, is way more interesting and nuanced than that. And to really wrap our heads around it, let's imagine two people whose stories kind of show the two main paths our careers could take.
So first up, you've got Amina. Her job is what we'd call augmented. The AI is like her perfect intern, right? It does all the tedious research and drafts the basic reports. This frees her up to do the big picture strategic thinking, the client relationships, the stuff we humans are actually good at. Then you have John. His job is automatable, and yeah, that word can sound pretty terrifying. But for John, it just means the AI handles all the simple, repetitive customer questions. This lets him focus his time on the really tough, complex problems that need empathy and creativity. So his job didn't disappear. It actually got upgraded. This idea of augmentable jobs is really the key. It's basically any role where AI acts as a power tool for your brain. Think of a surgeon using AI to analyze a scan and spot something the human eye might miss. Or a judge who can sift through decades of legal precedent in seconds. The crucial thing here is that the human is still calling the shots. Their judgment isn't replaced, it's just supercharged. And then, on the other side, you have the automatable jobs. These are the ones with tasks an AI can do all by itself, like writing some basic code or handling a customer service chat. And let's be honest, this is where most of the fear comes from, right? But just like we saw with John, automatable doesn't automatically mean automated away. More often than not, it just means the job itself changes. It evolves into something more complex and, frankly, more valuable.
So if AI isn't just a job killer, then what is it doing? What's the actual effect we're seeing in the real world? Well, the first huge reality check we get from all this data, it's about productivity. And it is absolutely wild. The first big number that just jumps off the page is this one, 3x. 3 times. But 3 times what? It means that companies in industries that are all in on AI are seeing 3 times the productivity growth per employee compared to everyone else. And we're not talking about a little gradual increase here. This is a massive, game-changing competitive advantage that is unfolding right now.
And get this. This isn't some slow burn. The data shows this huge surge kicked off right around 2022, when tools like ChatGPT suddenly became available to everybody. Since that moment, productivity in these AI-ready industries hasn't just grown, it's almost quadrupled. Meanwhile, in sectors that are less exposed to AI, productivity actually dipped a little. That's a huge difference.
Okay, so companies are getting way more productive. Great for their bottom line, sure. But what about our bottom line? What does this mean for our paychecks? The classic fear is that AI is just another excuse for companies to pay people less. But once again, the data tells a story that might really surprise you.
Check this out, 56%. And this number has nothing to do with company productivity. This one's all about your personal earning potential.
That's a massive wage premium. We're talking about people with proven AI skills earning, on average, 56% more than somebody in the exact same job who doesn't have those skills. And here is the kicker. This isn't just a tech industry thing. This pay bump is happening across every single industry they looked at. Every single.
And this might be the most shocking part of the whole report. Wages aren't just growing for the AI specialists. They're growing for everyone, even in those automatable jobs we were so worried about. So instead of devaluing human work, AI actually seems to be transforming those roles into something more valuable and, better paid. All right, so far this all sounds pretty amazing, doesn't it? More productive companies, higher pay for us. What's the catch? Well, there is a catch. And it's a big one. This entire bright picture depends on something that's changing faster than ever before: the actual skills you need to succeed.
66%. The report literally calls this the skills earthquake, and that number tells you just how much the ground is shaking under our feet.
So, the kinds of skills employers are looking for in jobs that are touched by AI, they're changing a stunning 66% faster than in jobs that aren't. And to give you some perspective on how crazy fast that is, just last year, that number was only 25%. So the pace of change has more than doubled in a single year. That's insane. But here's a weird little puzzle in the data. Even with all this amazing stuff happening, the number of new job postings in these AI-heavy fields is actually growing a bit slower than in other areas. Why would that be? Well, the answer probably comes back to that productivity boom we just saw. If one worker can now do much more, companies just don't need to hire as many new people to keep growing.
And that brings us to the absolute heart of the challenge. This single quote from the report just says it all. The challenge is not that there won't be jobs. It's that workers need to be prepared to take them. It's not a job gap, it's a skills gap. It's all about being ready. So where does all this leave us? Well, the data is painting a picture that looks nothing like the doom and gloom stories we've been hearing. It suggests that we actually have a choice in what happens next.
I mean, just look at the contrast between the common perception and the emerging reality. We thought AI's impact on productivity would be kind of meh. The data shows it's 3 times higher. We feared AI would crush our paychecks. In reality, wages are rising, and even faster in some areas. The big scary headline was that AI will eliminate jobs, but the data shows job numbers are still growing, and we thought AI would de-skill us, make our jobs boring. Instead, it's demanding and rewarding a richer, more complex set of human skills.
So how do we make sure we stay on this positive track? The report lays out a pretty clear game plan. First, businesses need to think big. Don't just use AI to automate a few little tasks. Use it for enterprise-wide transformation. Second, they need to focus on growth, using AI to create new products and services, not just as an efficiency tool to cut costs. And finally, and this is a big one, none of this works if people don't trust it. That means being responsible and super clear about how the technology is being used.
Ultimately, this is the most important thing to take away from all of this. The future isn't just something that's going to happen to us. We're not just sitting on the sidelines waiting to see what AI will do. We're the ones holding the blueprints. We are the architects of this new era. So, the data shows us what's possible. A future with more productive, more valuable, and yes, even higher paying work. But that future isn't guaranteed. It's not something we can predict. It's something we have to build. The only real question left is, how will we choose to design it?